the Usos lay out Montez and they double splash him and get the pin.
This does not sound like no match for people to be puffing their chests out on Twitter real brave. They had the Young Bucks trending today.
What?
I don't know what's broken inside y'all. Like to where like I had a conversation before, and someone was trying to tell me about what Kenny Omega was or was not. One thing I told him was he's a lightning rod. He's a person like that everyone compares anyone to. Like he's always in like the name. His name is always in someone's mouth, regardless like performance, whatever. It's the same thing with the Bucks. It's so and it's like imagine saying this shit about the Young Bucks this year alone. Like what?
Like I don't know, man. Like
stop the cap.
I don't know. Like I like both of them. If you ask me whose matches I prefer in the general, I like the Usos style more than I like the Young Bucks. I think the Young Bucks at times. I'm not going to go over the Young Bucks Usos thing again. I'm fucking tired of it. But like,
yeah, I'm tired of it because, and I think the narratives are lazy, like very lazy. Because I'm like, well, what do you mean by style? Because like the Young Bucks can wrestle Southern style, they can wrestle modern indie style, they can have a bloodbath war with you, they can retire a bitch like. And fight you.
Yeah,
they'll fight Eddie Kingston or John Moxley or anything like that.
They're good storytellers. I think the thing for me when I talk about their style in general, I'm talking like when you think of a normal Young Bucks match, you're thinking of a bunch of coordinated stuff that feels to me at times like it's in like third gear. So they like it feels like in a way. Like they would be the perfect WWE tag team wrestlers because like the matches seem like perfectly like manicured and like almost have no grit to them as far as like it almost feels like if something gets fucked up, like if somebody misses a dive, like it could fuck up like the next 3 minutes of a match in a Young Bucks match. It just happens that like they don't like go all out.
But they don't.
I'm getting to my point. Then the reason that doesn't happen is because like they don't like showcase how athletic they actually are. Like for example, you look at the Nick Jackson and Phoenix match and you watch them wrestle, like Nick Jackson is doing things in that ring with Phoenix that like when I watch him in a Young Bucks match, I almost see him like wrestling slower at a slower speed than that. And like, I don't know, like their matches just feel like, I guess I don't want to say too fake because it's all fake, right? But it feels like super choreographed. But like they're incredible, so who gives a fuck? But I think for a lot of people that hangs up on them when they're like they watch these matches, right? And there's like, oh well, like it almost like a gymnastic routine almost. And I'm like, well, yeah, like they're white guys doing lucha. Like what's not clicking for y'all? Like is it problem? Is it because they're white? Y'all don't think that they're like white guys doing lucha? Because like. They are. Like, just accept it as it's lucha and move on. Like, that's how I do my mind. It's like, whatever, like, it looks how it looks like, it's just lucha. And I just move on from there and I can accept it and enjoy it. But, like, people don't make that
I'm like, imagine saying these things 2 weeks after that cage match, which had minimal flying in it. They had one big dive, and it was from Phoenix, and it was a high cross. It was a bloodbath war.
This isn't a thing when people talk about this stuff. This isn't a thing about like whether or not they had an all-time great match or not. Like people like what they like. Like for example, I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching Rasheed Wallace more than Shaq. It doesn't mean that Rasheed Wallace is better than Shaq. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what it comes down to.
This is not their argument, though. Like, and
I think it is. I think it is. Like, we don't like the Young Bucks. They have these goofy matches. Like, they have these critically acclaimed matches that there are people watching and like, it's good. It's technically like for example, last week we just had the conversation with Rob. Like, Rob acknowledged they're good, but he's like, that's not my preference. And it's like, I can understand it. I think you're. I think they're wrong. In comparison to the Usos, like I think the Young Bucks have 1,000 more. Not 1,000. That's unfair. Let's say 100 more great matches. Than,
I would feel really bad.
They have 100 more great pay-per-view great matches than the Usos do. So it's like if you want to argue about who's better, like this is fucking stupid. Like you have your preference.
I would feel really
but, like,
bad.
Don't make your preference be like they're better because you can't really say that if you've paid any attention.
I was going to say, like, I would feel really bad if I was trying to make a case why someone is better than the Young Bucks and I couldn't use the matches. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
Look, I think it's stupid too, and I think it's exhausting. And it's like, look, man, like, and it's also like, we don't know what these other two people, we don't know what these four members would do in different wrestling promotions than the ones they've been in. Like, and even if it was, like, I still think the Young Bucks would have better matches. So it's like, whatever. Do I think they'd be having, like, you know, match of the year contenders in WWE? Absolutely not. But they would still have a higher frequency of great matches in WWE than the Young Bucks. I'm sorry, than the Usos.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I think people just need to update what they're talking about, personally.
Or we just ignore them.
Yeah, like this is something we don't have to participate in. You don't have to participate in it on Twitter. I promise you. I did not.
I looked at it like it's stupid. It's like, whatever, man. Like, they're both great teams. They're the best. They're two of the best tag teams of the era. One is better than the other. I you know, like, I don't really have to make a compare. I don't want to make this comparison, but like, I don't want to make like a LeBron to the DeMar DeRozan type of comparison. It's like, that's what's the point? Like, they're both great. Comparing them then becomes like not really a waste of time, because one is way up here, the other one is not on that level. And like, the Young Bucks have positioned themselves to have a slew of great matches with a slew of the best tag teams you've ever seen. And pretty much outside of anyone that hasn't been in WWE, they've had great tag team matches with like pretty much everybody. It's not like in Japan. They went about their careers to do this, and it ended up working out and paying off for them. Where like they're EVPs of the number 2 wrestling promotion in America. Usos didn't do that.
Man, yeah, I'm sure it'll rear its head again, and
Usos
we'll be back here again.
The Young Bucks have the matches, they have the influence, like, and they have this success and more money than them. Like, I'm sorry, like, there really is nothing for the stand on. There's not.
I don't.
There's not.
Like.
There's not.
Like they're headline.
They're great, and they're great. Stop comparing them to the Young Bucks, because it makes y'all look like y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Like,
the worst thing for me is I've always liked the Usos for years.
I still like the Usos, but
I'm
not
years.
But this is stupid,
and it's like, and up until maybe like the beginning of 2018, I would say, like, I would have probably been like, oh yeah, the Usos for sure, like, whatever. And, you know, the Bucks don't have a juice like that. And then like the next 3 years happened, and it was like, oh, so this has been going on, and this is what I wasn't aware of before. And then to start putting together the back catalog and just seeing everything, and it's like, it's back-breaking. Remember 50 Cent would talk about his consistency will break
Jay-Z,
your neck?
Yeah, Jay-Z's consistency breaking neck. But bro, you ain't even have to do that about, like, just the Young Bucks. Who's been a better tag team in WWE history in the last 5 years? Based on match quality. Kyle Riley and anybody from the Undisputed Era, or either one of his two tag teams, Fish or O'Reilly, or the Usos. It's either one of the
O'Reilly
teams.
And definitely O'Reilly and fucking Strong.
Right. Like, if War Machine had got pulled out of NXT so soon, they would have had a run that made them undisputed. Like, think of, they won them titles in Phoenix. They had that match against Blackachet. Both of them shits were 4.5. How many 4.5-star matches do the Usos have?
Maybe like 3.
Okay.
I can think of.
So they did that in like 2 months then.
Yeah.
Or 3 months. Or actually, no. The War Games. The second War Games. So actually, they matched them in matches as War Machine. And they were only there for like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months in WWE on NXT. So like, I don't even want to, it's not even necessarily fair. Like, FTR, DIY, whatever, man. It's just circumstances. Like, this is just goofy. Like, do the Usos have more great matches than Azumi and Momo?
You'd be able to tell me.
No. No. Like, how many 4-star matches they had in the tag league last year? And in the tag league and Stardom, like, not even like some great tournament at all. Like, between that and their defense or their challenge against Shuri and Julia this year, no. Anyway, I guess we can get away from it. Like, it's just, you know, Dangerous Trekkers, Golden Aces. Like, nah, man. Like, they're a great tag team for longevity's sake or whatever else and all that stuff, but they're in WWE doing restricted play wrestling with a promoter that doesn't give a flying fuck about tag team wrestling, except as a vehicle to put people in, like, side questing mode when they don't know really what to do to transition them out of coming down or going up.
Yeah. I think these people need to realize, I think they care a lot more about the Usos than the company they work for.
Oh, that's true.
But
it's also funny, like, we did all this, like, and then, like, earlier we were talking about, like, the DUIs and stuff.
Drive-bys.
Yeah. Yeah, but, like, the match is good. It's just, like, it wasn't great.
Look, and there's nothing wrong with that. You might have an off night. You might, like, you know, whatever, like, but...
Not if you Lucha Bros.
True. This is true. Ray teams don't take no nights off.
Right.
You know, I noticed the Lucha Bros are absent from this conversation today. They went straight for the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Like, they're not
like we mentioned last time when we talked about this. I was like, well, why does no one ever, like, bring these guys into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also getting ramped up because it's like the Elite with them and Kenny Omega, and then you have like the Bloodline thing. So it's like it throws more of the Omega versus Roman stuff into play too, and it's like, God, I hate like this stuff barely touches my timeline except for you know, a certain someone who we adore that like is all in this shit, and like I have to see what she likes and tweets, and by me even giving the pronoun out, y'all know who I'm talking about. But like, I love her to death, but like, she be getting involved in that shit, and I'm just like, hey, that's what you talking about today? All right, I'm gonna come back. I guess I'll come back and look at her because my timeline's gonna be flooded.